Why did you decide to wear the Kobe Bryant armband tonight?
Game 7. Everybody know how much he means to me. You know, my idol and my favorite player. So just to have something to show him in the biggest game of my career so far, and it worked out.
Man, so I'm recording this the day after Game 7, Heat versus Celtics. And man, that was probably the best series we got this whole postseason. Like, both teams evenly matched, both teams great on offense and defensively. Superstars hitting superstar shots. And there was a lot of great storylines that clashed in these Eastern Conference Finals. You know, the revenge tour for Boston. Boston got their revenge tour. They beat Miami, they beat the Nets, and they beat the Bucks. All three teams that have beaten them the past 3 playoffs. So I know that the Celtics are finally happy to get over that hump, finally make it to the finals, because they made it to 3 out of 5 past Eastern Conference Finals, but they just weren't able to get over that hump. And Jayson Tatum was able to show and prove to the world that he's a superstar and that he can lead a team over that hump to an NBA championship level team. Now, on the other hand, for Jimmy Butler and the Heat, it baffles me how Bam Adebayo, he gets so much praise as this basically do-it-all center, but the man's offensive game is so limited that it ended up hurting Miami this series.
I can't say nothing.
But, him on the defensive end, great, switchable, can guard 1 through 5 legitimately, can get you boards, can play interior defense. But when it comes to offense, he just becomes more of a pick and roll guy. Like, he needs someone to set him up. Versus, let's compare him to Giannis. Giannis, even though he doesn't have the quote-unquote skill or bag as most players, bro, Giannis is still giving you 30 and 15, bro. Bam, it's like Bam isn't aggressive enough. His floater game is cool. He has good post game. Like when I was watching the game 5 and 6, Bam Adebayo in that mid-post area, the restricted area, he has great feel, great touch around there, but that's not enough. Kyle Lowry offensively this series and this whole playoffs has been atrocious. I know he's going through a hamstring injury, but golly, bro, I mean, can you give us anything offensively? Can you shoot efficient anytime? And I feel for my boy Jimmy Butler because, as a Bulls fan, I wanted to see Jimmy Butler get a ring. Obviously, I would want the Bulls to get a ring before Jimmy Butler, but if we can't get a ring before JB, we're gonna let JB get his. But he literally had no help offensively. That whole Game 7 was literally Jimmy Butler. Had Jimmy Butler not scored 18 points in the second quarter, the Heat would have been done for right then and there. I knew it. Had Jimmy Butler not carried them throughout the final stretches of the third quarter, the Heat would have not been there.
I lost.
Now, don't get me wrong, Bam Adebayo played great that game, but it just still wasn't enough. It felt like his points didn't necessarily impact the game as much as it should. He finished the game with 25 points, like 11 rebounds, but that double-double didn't impact the game as much as it should have.
Are you sure about that?
If you understand what I'm saying, it's almost like he was stat padding. But, of course, I know he wasn't. Yeah, man, Bam, you should be the second best option, bro. You have to step up your game offensively, bro. There's no way you should be constantly relying on post fades and post hooks that you hit inconsistently. Like, you're not consistent with those at all. The pick and pop is always there for him. And I don't know if he practices his mid-ranges or not, but bro, really that's all you need right there. And you will be a cool 20 and 10 kind of guy for Miami. Now back to the Celtics. The Celtics, like I was saying, they have a great identity, great defensive team. But the thing the Celtics had that the Heat didn't have was that 1-2 combo. When Jayson Tatum couldn't get it going, who was there to get it going? Jaylen Brown.
My nigga.
When Jimmy Butler couldn't get it going, who was there to get the Heat going? Bam Adebayo? Come on, bro. I would rather take Jaylen Brown. Let's be serious. And then you even, let's just take a look at the roster overall. Both of these teams are great defensively, but I do feel as if, I know Boston was a better defensive team because they were the #1 ranked defense. Where do you attack them? You see what I'm saying? You got Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart at the point, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum at the 2 and the 3, who are both 6'7", long wingspan, long arms, can play defense, and can alter driving lanes, can do a lot defensively, can bother your best defender. And we've seen Tatum guard Durant and put him in a straitjacket. So we know Tatum got clamps. You got Robert Williams down there, Al Horford, Grant Williams, 3 studs for them defensively. And those 3 players are actually the reason why Giannis and the Bucks lost that series.
Niggas be wildin'.
It's because, for one, Al Horford's game 6 or 5, I believe, where he dropped 30 points. Grant Williams and Robert Williams and Tatum and Al Horford, everyone's switching on Giannis. So it's like, Giannis was the one tired. He's constantly taking a beating. While the person guarding him was switching in and out with someone, so they always had fresh legs. So it's like Boston is such a deep, well-balanced roster that it's almost like, man, what weaknesses do they have? The one weakness I could say they have is playmaking. They lack a true playmaker. But Marcus Smart, he's developed that over the time. Marcus Smart has become a great playmaker for them, great leader of their offense. But we all know, man, this ship rides or dies with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now, for my hypothetical finals series winner or whatever, I'm taking Golden State in 6. Now, the reason I say Golden State in 6 is because everything I said about Boston is true about Golden State, but probably about times 2 or 3. Now, the Warriors don't have a second scorer like a Jaylen Brown, that could complement Curry consistently. You got a Jordan Poole, you got a Klay Thompson. You got to give those guys their shots as well. But on any given night, one of those guys can be the second option versus the third option. See what I'm saying? The reason I say the Warriors is because, one, just championship experience. You got Draymond, Curry, and Klay, who's basically played their whole careers together, have that chemistry and championship experience. Jordan Poole coming into his own this year. They got great pieces like Otto Porter, Kevin Looney, Kuminga, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II is supposed to be back. So it's like they have great pieces. They have great defensive pieces because everyone on the team besides Curry is 6'5" and up. Damn near everyone's switchable on Golden State. I didn't even bring up Andrew Wiggins yet. I don't know how that's crossed my mind. Great defensive team. They shoot the 3 well and they take the most threes. So I feel like the Celtics, they don't hit as many threes as the Warriors. So how would they be able to slow that down and slow them down from shooting so many threes? How are they planning on stopping Draymond Green in the low pick and roll or the roll man action off the pick and roll when it's a 3-on-2? Who will Marcus Smart be on Curry?
You are so dumb.
Obviously will.
You are really dumb. For real.
But will he be switching? Will he be fighting through screens? It's just so much about this finals matchup that I'm really excited to see. And so many narratives and stories that clash. Because if Curry wins this, there's no doubt Steph Curry is top 10 all time. And he getting that finals MVP for sure. And if Tatum wins this, I mean, he cements himself as easily, without a doubt, a top 10 player in the NBA today. Possibly top 5 because of this playoff series, but I won't say top 5. I would say top 10 for sure. I already have him top 10, but he could just be still climbing up that top 10. But thank you all for, listening. I really do fuck with y'all, man. And I see that y'all fuck with these kind of videos. So I'm going to keep producing them. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'm out, niggas. Deuces.